Now, beginning with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has once again expressed his opposition to U.S. President Donald Trump's plans to transfer the American embassy from Tel Aviv over to Jerusalem, Al-Quds.
We say to Mr. Trump that we hope he will not move the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, because Jerusalem, from the Israeli point of view, is a united city, and this is not correct and illegal. Therefore, moving the embassy to any place will be a step ahead of anything that may happen in the future and will damage the peace process.
Palestinian president also met with Jordanian King Abdullah II to discuss the U.S. plan. Abbas said the issue of the American embassy is very important to both Palestine and Jordan, especially given Jordan's role in administering holy Muslim sites in occupied East Jerusalem Al-Quds. Meeting came ahead of a Jordanian king's upcoming visits to Washington and Moscow. White House says Trump's administration is in the early stages of discussions over the transfer of the embassy. Meanwhile, Palestinians in the Gaza Strip and the West Bank have protested against the U.S. plan. Protesters carried placards reading a "Stop Racism, Stop Hatred Against Palestinians." Now, Palestinians view Jerusalem Al-Quds as a capital of their future state. And now we're joined out of Brisbane, Australia by Mr. Max Igan, political commentator. Hello, Mr. Igan. Thanks for joining us on PressTV's Top 5, sir. And now, what possible justification do you think Donald Trump can employ here to make such a move?
Look, there is no justification. This is probably the worst move any world leader could possibly make. This is basically condemning the Palestinian state to absolute rubbish bin. I mean, it's condemning the Palestinian people to death by doing this, really. It's going to give Israel open slather to basically claim all of Palestine. That's what this will do. This will escalate the war on terror. It'll inflame the Muslim world. And it will, usher in a very, very bad future, because if we do not rise up to protect Palestine, I firmly believe the way of Palestine will be the way of the world. This is a really disgraceful move, and this will reveal Trump's true intentions if he does this, because this is not about bringing peace to the region at all. It will destroy the peace process, it will escalate the conflict, and it will see a mass exodus from the area. The Palestinians will be moved to Jordan or somewhere else. The Israelis want them gone, and this will just give them the excuse they need to continue their ethnic cleansing programs.
But I'm trying to see the thought process behind it. So actually, Donald Trump, how did he arrive at this decision?
Well, you've got to look at his stance he's taking against ISIS. He said in his speech to the CIA the other day that ISIS must be wiped from the face of the earth. But he's really not looking at what the root cause of ISIS is. ISIS is a mercenary force that is funded by the West. If you want to wipe ISIS from the face of the earth, you don't strengthen Israel. What you do is you look at where ISIS is getting their funding, which is mainly from the Clinton Foundation, from people like John McCain, forces that are being trained in Saudi Arabia. You've got Israeli commanders in there on these ISIS forces. I mean, really, you've got to look at this. It seems like an excuse to escalate the war of terror and turn it into a war against the Muslim world. That's what this will do. This is not looking at the root cause of any problem. It's just siding with Israel and thinking, well, if we can bring stability in Israel and make all the Muslims just leave the area, then everything's going to be fine. And it isn't going to work that way. So people aren't just looking at the root core of things. And I think that is his motivation in doing this, just believing that if he can strengthen Israel more, then it's going to bring about peace. But it's going to do exactly the opposite.
And do you get a sense that Tel Aviv is looking to take full advantage of what it can get away with under a Donald Trump presidency?
Absolutely. If this move happens, if this embassy is moved to Jerusalem, we will see a huge escalation in tensions. We'll see a huge escalation in the ethnic cleansing program that Israel is waging against the Palestinians now. I mean, now they've got to, use the excuse of knife attack and all this sort of stuff. They do whatever they can to, harass and destroy these people. Now they won't even bother hiding it. They'll just go in and wipe them out and get them out of the country because, okay, Donald Trump says it's all Israel now, so we're going to go with that. And this is a very, very dangerous move that he's making.
Thank you, Mr. Max, again, for your contribution. Political commentator joining us out of Brisbane.